The ideal husband understands every word his wife doesn't say. There is something more important than logic, imagination. I have a feeling that inside you somewhere there's somebody nobody knows about. Suspense is like a woman. The more left to the imagination, the more the excitement. Happiness is a small house, with a big kitchen. There is no terror in the bang, only in the anticipation of it. If I won't be myself, who will? When we think we have been hurt by someone in the past, we build up defenses to protect ourselves from being hurt in the future. So the fearful past causes a fearful future and the past and future become one. Reality is something that none of us can stand, at any time. Film your murders like love scenes, and film your love scenes like murders. People don't always express their inner thoughts to one another. A conversation may be quite trivial, but often the eyes will reveal what a person really thinks or feels. Television is like the invention of indoor plumbing. It didn't change people's habits. It just kept them inside the house. Ideas come from everything. Our primary function is to create an emotion and our secondary function is to sustain that emotions. When you can look forward, and the road is clear ahead, and now you are going to create something, that's as happy as I'd want to be. A woman of mystery is one who also has a certain maturity and whose actions speak louder than words. Any woman can be one, if she keeps those 2 points in mind. She should grow up and shut up. There is nothing to winning, really. That is, if you happen to be blessed with a keen eye, an agile mind, and no scruples whatsoever. Television has brought back murder into the home, where it belongs. Drama is life with the dull bits cut out. I always try to look at things as though I were remembering them 3 years later. I have a perfect cure for a sore throat: cut it. The only way to get rid of my fears is to make films about them. A glimpse into the world proves that horror is nothing other than reality. Dialogue should simply be a sound among other sounds, just something that comes out of the mouths of people whose eyes tell the story in visual terms. Conversation is the enemy of good wine and food. Puns are the highest form of literature. Give them pleasure. The same pleasure they have when they wake up from a nightmare. The paperback is very interesting, but I find it will never replace the hardcover book. It makes a very poor doorstop. The Birds could be the most terrifying motion picture I have ever made. We seem to have a compulsion these days to bury time capsules in order to give those people living in the next century or so some idea of what we are like. In feature films the director is God, in documentary films God is the director. There is nothing so good as a burial at sea. It is simple, tidy, and not very incriminating. Even my failures make money and become classics a year after I make them. Some of our most exquisite murders have been domestic, performed with tenderness in simple, homey places like the kitchen table. One never knows the ending. One has to die to know exactly what happens after death, although Catholics have their hopes. I'm full of fears and I do my best to avoid difficulties and any kind of complications. I like everything around me to be clear as crystal and completely calm. It seems to me that television is exactly like a gun. Your enjoyment of it is determined by which end of it you're on. Someone once told me that every minute a murder occurs, so I don't want to waste your time. I know you want to go back to work. In a good marriage each is the other's better half. Self-plagiarism is style. The silent pictures were the purest form of cinema.